From today we are going to discuss about the question answers practice paper. Okay. Now today we will do first of all we focus on our questions. In our question paper pattern, the first question is based on MCQs that there are fill in the blanks are there and so many four options are there and we have to select one option from correct option from that given options. Okay. After that, the second question is based on match the pairs or match the correct pairs and rewrite the incorrect pair in the correct sense. Okay. Now third one is based on prepare a concept, means web concept is there uh, and you have to fill that. After that, graphical representation. Again, in this question, there is a table or there will be a graph in this question, and we have to solve this graph. Okay. After that, in fifth question, answer in brief, you have to give the answer in brief or you have to explain the notes. Okay. After that, explain the concepts. You have to be, explain the concepts or the topics given in this question. Okay. Seventh question is based on explain the answers with the reason. That question is there and we have to explain the answer with the reason. If so many times true and false are there in this question, and if true is there, then after that you have to give the reason, and if the statement is false, then also you have to clarify it with the reasons. Okay. Next one is answer in detail. You have to explain the whole answer in detail. Okay. And after that, the last question, write your opinions. The concept is there, a question is there, you have to present your own opinion on that question. Okay. To give that answer. Okay. This is the question paper pattern. Now today we will discuss only about the first question. The first question, which is based on MCQs. Okay. We have to discuss about the first question. Now, the first question like that, to choose the correct options. The first question is complete the statement by choosing the proper option. Okay. Now here we have question that in 1992, a movement against drinking alcohol was started in. The options are Maharashtra, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, and Uttarakhand. Now, what is the explanation? The explanation is it began as a spontaneous movement against alcoholism. A remote village is Dubangata, supported by NLC in Nerode and adopted by the other districts of Andhra Pradesh. It is noted that there was no organized leadership to start with in anti-Iraq movement. Anti-Iraq means anti-liquor movement, which is started in 1992 in Andhra Pradesh because some young student or young people were died in because of this alcohol, and so this anti-Iraq movement was started in Andhra Pradesh. So our answer is in 1992, a movement against alcohol was started in Andhra Pradesh. This is the correct answer of this question. Okay. After that, next question is in 1975, the government of India formed the committee on the status of women under the chairmanship of. We have to select the correct option. That in 1975, the government of India formed the committee on the status of women under the chairmanship of. The options are Dr. Fulrenu Guha. Second one option is there Uma Bharti. Third option is Vasundhara Raje. And fourth option is Pramila Dandavati. All these are some options before us. Now, for this question, what is our explanation? Our explanation is that government of India appointed a committee in 1975 under the chairmanship of Dr. Fularenu Guha to study the status of women in India. See students, as we studied in the lesson empowerment of women and other weaker section, in this lesson we have studied that the United Nations had declared in 1975 as the International Women's Year. The three aspects of this program were peace, development and equality between men and women. To enhance the status of women, to see the various problems faced by women and how we enhance the status of women. In 1975, the Government of India constituted the Committee on the Status of Women and appointed Dr. Fulrenu Guha as its chairman. So, a comprehensive survey was conducted of several issues such as the social position of women, their status and consequences of the constitutional provisions made for women, as also education of women and its percentage, their progress due to education difficulty faced by working women, the position of women with respect to work, livelihood and wages related to man wages, the male or female ratio, birth and mortality rates and the role of women. It means what? To enhance the status of women. The committee is formed by our government under the chairmanship of Dr. Fularenu Guha. So the correct answer of this question is in 1975, the government of India formed the committee on the status of women under the chairmanship of Dr. Fularenu Guha. Okay. Now the third question. From this lesson, the third question is XYZ made use the women power in the Bhudan movement. Now, first of all, we have to clarify Bhudan movement. Now, the options is Mahatma Gandhi, Sundarlal Bahuguna, Vinoba Bhave, and Jayaprakash Narayan. So, student, first of all, you have to understand what is Bhudan movement. Bhudan means uh, the dan, bhu and dan. It means it is a Hindi word. Bhu means zameen and dan means to give. Okay, किसी को दान दे देना. That is the bhudan. Bhudan मतलब भूमि का दान. That is the movement. Now, why this bhudan movement is started? Okay, so when it is after the independence, means pre-independence period, from our India, so many people were working in other farmers houses. Okay, जो अलग किसान थे या बड़े किसान थे, उनकी जमीन पे ये जो छोटे किसान है वो काम किया करते थे. And they got very small wages. जो उनको काम मिलता था या फिर पैसा मिलता था उसके बदले में, तो वो बहुत कम था. तो it is not sufficient for their families also. It is not sufficient. It is not payable that all the wages of their or all the expenditure of their house or their family will be completed by that money. So what happened? Vinoba Bhave made use of women power in this Bhudan movement, which he started placing his faith in Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy. Women volunteers carried the message of Bhudan to all parts of India. Women played a significant role in the Telangana peasants' armed struggle, which challenged the rule of the Nizams and federal system. As their region became free from bonded labors, women also found freedom from this torment. It means what? Now we are discussing about Bhudan. The Bhudan movement, land gifted movement. Okay, land gifted movement. It means when the land is gifted by somebody. Also known as the Bhudan resolution was a volunteer land reform movement in India. It was initiated by Gandhi. Gandhi admitted he was was affiliated by Gandhi's his faith was placing in Mahatma Gandhi philosophy. That means he is Gandhian. Acharya Vinoba Bhave in 1961 at Pochrampalli village, which he now is Telangana, was known as the Bhudat Pochanpalli. Okay, because this movement started from this Telangana. Okay, जो भूदान मूवमेंट ये तेलंगाना से ही स्टार्ट हुआ था, इसलिए तेलंगाना को भूदान पोचमपल्ली भी बोला जाता है. सो द करेक्ट ऑप्शन ऑफ दिस आंसर इज Vinoba Bhave made use of women in the भूदान मूवमेंट. ओके, जो विनोबा भावे थे उन्होंने स्त्री शक्ति जो है इसका यूज किया था इस भूदान मूवमेंट के लिए, क्योंकि जो लेडीज थी उनके अंदर ये माना, गांधी जी का ऐसा मानना था कि लेडीज के पास में जो पावर है उतनी पावर जेंट्स के पास में नहीं है, मेल के पास में नहीं है. इसलिए अगर हमें कोई भी मूवमेंट चलाना है तो उसके अंदर वी हैव टू पार्टिसिपेट मेजोरिटी ऑफ वुमेन. विमेन की मेजोरिटी होनी चाहिए, और जब विमेन अगर उतरती है किसी भी काम को करने में तो वो 101% सक्सेसफुली कर देते हैं. तो इसलिए ये जो भूदान मूवमेंट थी, इससे क्या हुआ, जो बड़े बड़े किसान थे उन्होंने अपनी जो जमीनें थी इन छोटे छोटे किसानों को दान में दे दी, जिससे कि वो उसके ऊपर काम करने लगे और अपनी फैमिली के एक्सपेंडिचर्स को कंप्लीट करने लगे. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज नाउ XYZ was named as the first chairman of Atomic Energy Commission. Now, from this question, we have reflected that this is from the lesson Science and Technology. Now, who was named as the first chairman of Atomic Energy Commission? First one is Dr. Homi Bhabha. Second one, Dr. Homi Sethana, and third one is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and fourth one is Dr. Raja Ramanna. Now, as we know, when India got independent, India's first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, wanted to nurture a scientific temper and bring about the nation's progress. Because पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू का ये कहना था कि अगर हमें देश को आगे लेके जाना है, if you want to bring our country forward, it is very much confirmed or it is very important to use technology in our India. हमारे इंडिया में टेक्नोलॉजी, साइंस, इसका यूज होना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि हम लोग तब बहुत ही ज्यादा वीकर सेक्शन के थे, हम लोग बहुत ही ज्यादा पुअर थे, और आप उसको बोल सकते हैं कि अनपढ़ थे. मतलब अनपढ़ इस बात के लिए कि हमको साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी का कैसा यूज करना चाहिए ये हमें बिल्कुल भी मालूम नहीं था. सो he want to nurture the scientific temper and bring about the nation progress. For this perspective, he set up an Indian Atomic Energy Commission. Okay, उन्होंने एक इंडियन एटॉमिक एनर्जी कमीशन ऑन 10 अगस्त 1948 में ही एक उन्होंने कमीशन बिठाया था, दैट इज इंडियन एटॉमिक एनर्जी कमीशन. एंड on this commission, Dr. Homi Bhabha was appointed as the chairman of this commission. So, with the enhancement of the attachment of the atomic energy bills in 1948, the Atomic Energy Commission was established, and on 10th August 1948, with Dr. Homi J. Bhabha was the first chairman of this commission. So the objective of this commission was to produce electricity from atomic energy, increase the yield of food grain and make them last longer, set up the technology for achieving this, and develop it in nanotechnology. So in 1956, the Department of Atomic Energy set up Apsara, a nuclear reactor functioning on atomic energy. So इन 1948 जो सबसे पहला कमीशन बना था, बिठाया गया एटॉमिक एनर्जी कमीशन, जिससे कि हमारे देश में सबसे पहले जो है एटॉमिक एनर्जी का यूज हुआ किस चीज के लिए, सबसे पहले टू प्रोड्यूस इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, क्योंकि एज वी यू नो दैट बिफोर इंडिपेंडेंस देयर इज नो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इन द विलेजेस। ठीक है, कोई भी गांव में ज्यादा से ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ही नहीं हुआ करती थी, और जहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं होगी तो वहां पे जो लोग हैं वो कैसे आगे जाएंगे, वो कैसे बढ़ेंगे। तो इसलिए सबसे पहला जो चैलेंज था वो था इलेक्ट्रिसिटी सबको प्रोवाइड करना। इसलिए ये जो एटॉमिक एनर्जी है, इससे सबसे पहले इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जो है वो प्रोड्यूस की गई, और जिससे कि हमारे देशों में जो है, देश के अलग अलग राज्यों में जो है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जो थी वो भेजी। ओके, so the correct option is Dr. Homi Bhabha was named as the first chairman of Atomic Energy Commission. Okay, now next question is, who was the first completely indigenous communication satellite by ISRO, that is ISRO? Okay, the first option is Aryabhat, second one is INSAT 1B, third one is Rohini 75, and fourth one is Apple. Now these are the four options before us. Now we have to say, we have to give answer that who was the first completely indigenous communication satellite by ISRO. Now see, what is the explanation? Now explanation is, now see, the Iranian passenger payloaded experiment, that is Apple, was ISRO's first indigenous experiment communication satellite. It was launched into GTO by the third development flight of ESA, an air-vane vehicle from Coromandel on June 19, 1981. Now see student, the first completely engineers built satellite by ISRO in India, that is Apple, was launched on 19th June 1981 from the French Guiana. Apple was beneficial in the field of education. The objective of providing emergency telecommunication service was successful. Now, as we know, this is the lesson about the science and technology. ये जो lesson है वो है science and technology, कि हम लोगों ने इस lesson में सारा science और technology का बारे में पढ़ा, जिसके अंदर Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, इन्होंने ये प्रोजेक्ट लिया था, that the Indian Space Research Organization was established on 15th August 1969 in order to carry out further space research. तो अलग अलग स्पेस रिसर्च के बारे में रिसर्च करने के लिए या फिर नए नए सैटेलाइट्स बनाने के लिए इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को एस्टेब्लिश किया। द हेडक्वार्टर्स ऑफ दिस इसरो आर एट बेंगलुरु। बेंगलुरु में इसका इसरो का हेडक्वार्टर है। सो इसरो activated the space station at Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh for launching our satellites. तो सैटेलाइट्स को लॉन्च करने का काम जो है वो श्रीहरिकोटा में आंध्र प्रदेश में किया जाता है। तो उसी के अंडर जो ये नया है एरियनी पैसेंजर payloaded experiment, that is Apple, is one of the satellite which is used for in the field of education और emergency telecommunication services also. ओके, तो ये जो इमरजेंसी टेलीकम्युनिकेशन होता है, जैसे फोन्स होते हैं, मोबाइल्स होता है, मतलब जब हम एक दूसरे से इंटरकनेक्टेड होते हैं फास्टली, तो ये सैटेलाइट उसके लिए हमको मदद करता है। ओके, सो द करेक्ट आंसर इज एप्पल was the completely indigenous communication satellite made by ISRO. Okay, so there were so many there are so many satellites, that is Bhaskar 1 is there. Okay, so many B17 is there, so many different satellites are there which is launched by the ISRO. Okay, now the next one is XYZ or is referred to as missile man. Okay. Now who is known as missile man? Now the correct option, I think you know the answer. The options are Dr. Homi Bhabha, Dr. Homi Sethala, or Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, or the last one is Dr. Raja Raman. Now, as you know, the correct answer is APJ Abdul Kalam. Under the leadership of Abdul Kalam, the project of IGWDP proved to be successful by producing missiles like the first Prithvi missile in 1988 and then the Agni missile in 1989. Due to this contribution, he was known as Missile Man of India. In 1992, he was appointed as the scientific advisor to the defense minister. Now see, all these are about our missile man, that is APJ Abdul Kalam. जो APJ Abdul Kalam है, you know very well, in 1998 India successfully tested the missile Prithvi, and in 1999 the missile Agni was tested, and the entire world looked not on India's program of developing nuclear missiles indigenously. So, Integrated Guide Missile Development Program, that is IGMTP, was conceived by the carrying out under the leadership of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So, Defense Research and Development Organization, that is DRDO, undertook the task of building of missile. So, because he designed so many missiles and he tested it very positively, that's why Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is known as Missile Man of our India. So the correct answer is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is referred to as Missile Man. Okay. Now the next question is, now this question is from our next lesson, that is industry and trade. Now in 1948, Industrial Finance Corporation of India was formed for. So we have to say why this Industrial Finance Corporation of India was formed. The options are better development of the industrial sector. Second one, making available long-term loans to industrial projects. Third one is generating employment. And fourth one is determining the quality to finished goods. Okay. Now these are the options before us. Now in 1948, Industrial Finance Corporation. Okay. Industrial Finance Corporation. So that is IFCL Limited was set up in 1948 as the Industrial Finance Corporation of India. The statutory cooperation through the Industrial Finance Corporation in India Act 1948 of Parliament to provide medium and long-term finance to industry. Now see student, in 1948, okay, 1948 में पार्लियामेंट में ही ये माना गया कि क्योंकि हमारे देश में धीरे धीरे सारी चीजें आते जा रही थी, आवर नेशन इज गेटिंग डेवलपिंग, हमारा जो देश था वो धीरे धीरे डेवलप हो रहा था। तो डेवलप होते समय जो कुछ बातें उनके सामने आ रही थी, तो ये उनको सामने दिखी कि हाउ आफ्टर इंडिया बिकम independent, the Industrial Financial Corporation of India established this organization or this committee to purpose of making available long-term loans to industrial projects, because we have to launch so many projects to develop our country. हमें अपनी कंट्री को आगे लेके जाना था। और जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया कि जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी थे, उनका ये मानना था कि जब तक हमारे देश में साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी का विस्तार नहीं होता है, वो डेवलप नहीं करते हैं, तब तक हमारा इंडिया जो है वो डेवलप नहीं कर सकता। टू डेवलप आवर कंट्री, दिस टाइप ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल फाइनेंस कॉर्पोरेशन वाज एस्टेब्लिश्ड। तो व्हाट इज द वर्क ऑफ दिस कॉर्पोरेशन? टू प्रोवाइड फाइनेंस, अ लॉन्ग टाइम फाइनेंस टू द इंडस्ट्रीज, कि किसी भी अगर कोई इंडस्ट्री है तो उसको पैसे की जरूरत है, तो वो शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए नहीं, बहुत दिनों के लिए, लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए। तो ये जो कॉरपोरेशन था, ये इंडस्ट्री को लॉन्ग टर्म फाइनेंस जो वो प्रोवाइड करके देता था। तो इसलिए इसका 1948 में गवर्नमेंट ने ही ये बताया कि इनको लॉन्ग टर्म फाइनेंस जो है वो इंडस्ट्री को देने के लिए इस कारपोरेशन का एस्टेब्लिशमेंट किया जाए। सो द करेक्ट आंसर इज इंडस्ट्रियल फाइनेंस कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया वाज एस्टेब्लिश्ड इन 1948 फॉर मेकिंग अवेलेबल लॉन्ग टर्म लोन्स टू इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोजेक्ट्स। जो भी इंडस्ट्री के प्रोजेक्ट थे, लाइक सिल्क इंडस्ट्री हो, जूट इंडस्ट्री हो, ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री हो, then hand sculpting हो, cement industry हो, textile industry, okay, after that bicycle, so many agriculture is there, agriculture related companies, industries are there, leather industry is there, salt industry is there. So there are different types of industries, and to provide finance to the industrial project, this corporation helps them to available long term loans. Okay. Now the next question is, which industry in India is called as sunrise sector? Now, which industry in India is called as the sunrise sector? The options are jute, automobile, cement, and last one is khadi and village industries. Okay. Now we have to say which industry is in India is called as sunrise sector. Now the explanation is, in the Indian market is experiencing a high rate of growth thanks to a burgeoning over car buying population. Looking for low cost cars, all the make the automotive industries India's a sunrise sector. Now see, as we say that our honorable Prime Minister, late Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, wants to develop our country by the industry. Okay. Now what he do? He launches various type of industries our country. In that there are so many industries that are there. In that one industry, that is automobile industry. So India is one of the major producer of vehicles, because we Indians love vehicles. Okay. Now vehicles are exported to 40 countries from India. So हमारे देश से ही 40 कंट्रीज को व्हीकल्स जो है वो बेची जाती है, एक्सपोर्ट की जाती है इंडिया से ही. So the automobile industry is called as sunrise sector in India. Now, how India's tractor industry is the biggest in the world, बिकॉज हमारे देश में खेती करने के लिए, एग्रीकल्चर के लिए ट्रैक्टर्स का बहुत ज्यादा यूज किया जाता है. उसके साथ में ही जो भी हैवी व्हीकल्स हो या फिर ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, उसको भी लेने के लिए हमारे इधर ट्रैक्टर का यूज किया जाता है. सो 1/3 ऑफ द ट्रैक्टर्स मैन्युफैक्चर्ड वर्ल्ड वाइड आर प्रोड्यूस्ड इन इंडिया. तो इंडिया में ही सबसे ज्यादा जो है 1/3, जो जितने भी दुनिया में ट्रैक्टर्स बनते हैं उसमें से 1/3 तो हमारे इधर ही बनते हैं. सो ट्रैक्टर्स manufactured in India are exported to Turkey, Malaysia and several other countries in Africa. तो सी, हमारे देश के ट्रैक्टर्स जो है वो टर्की, मलेशिया और बहुत सारे अफ्रीका के अलग अलग कंट्रीज में ही हमारे देश के जो ट्रैक्टर्स है वो एक्सपोर्ट किए जाते हैं. सो दिस ऑटोमोबाइल एंड इंडस्ट्री इज known as sunrise sector in India. So the correct option is automobile industry in India is called as the sunrise sector. Okay. Now the next question is the major responsibility of the textile committee is. Now we have to choose the correct option, that which is the major responsibility of textile committees. First option is production of clothes. Second one is determining the quality standard of cloth. Third one is export of cloth. And fourth one is generate employment for people. Now these are the various options in front of us. Now we have to choose which is the correct option for this question, the major responsibility of the textile committee. Now see, students, textile industry. The textile industry forms 14% of the total industrial production. ठीक है, because in our India cotton seeds are doing the majority. हमारे यहाँ कपास जो है कॉटन है इसकी खेती बहुत ज्यादा होती है एंड दिस इज हेल्पफुल फॉर अवर दिस टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री. हमारे यहाँ टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री सबसे ज्यादा क्यों चलती है, क्योंकि हमारे इधर कॉटन की खेती बहुत ज्यादा होती है, कपास की खेती बहुत ज्यादा होती है. दैट इज राइट. So it includes the power looms and the handlooms industries. The handlooms industries are labor intensive. According to the Textile Committee Act in 1963, a textile committee has been established. Now in 1963, okay, uh, a textile committee was established. This committee sets the quality standards of textile manufacture for sale in the internal market as well as the for the export market. Okay, now see students, जैसे कि टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री से रिलेटेड है कि दो टाइप के इसके अंदर लूम्स चलते हैं, पावर लूम्स होते हैं, हैंड लूम्स होते हैं. पावर लूम्स मीन्स जहाँ पे मशीनरी पे लूम्स बनते हैं, कपड़ा बनता है. ठीक है, लूम्स मतलब कपड़े का जो थान निकलता है वो कंटिन्यूस जो कपड़ा बनता है उसको लूम्स बोलते हैं. सो दो टाइप के होते हैं, पावर लूम्स होती है और सेकंड वन इज हैंड लूम्स होती है. बट हैंड लूम्स इंडस्ट्री आर लेबर इंटेंसिव, क्योंकि उसके अंदर बहुत ज्यादा लेबर्स लगते हैं, फिर उनको उतना काम दिया जाता है, मतलब कम ज्यादा समय में कम कपड़ा बनता है, बट इट इज गुड. ओके, और पावर लूम्स में कम समय में बहुत ज्यादा कपड़ा बनता है. तो the a committee is formed in 1963, that is Textile Committee Act. In this act, it has been said that the quality of the textile should be always good. ठीक है, क्योंकि अगर हम किसी को एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं हमारे देश से, कोई अच्छा चीज बाहर दे रहे, तो वो कैसी होनी चाहिए, हमेशा उसका स्टैंडर्ड जो होना चाहिए वो हमेशा अच्छा रहना चाहिए. तो इस कमेटी का काम यही था कि वो लोग कपड़ा चेक करते थे, दे चेक द लूम्स इट इज गुड और नॉट. सो the textile committee's main objective is to assure the quality of textile and textile machinery both for internal consumption and the external purpose. Internal consumption means जो कपड़ा है वो भारत के अंदर ही, अपने कंट्री के अंदर ही बेचा जाए. ठीक है, चाहे वो तो एक स्टेट से दूसरे स्टेट में बेचा जाएगा, लेकिन वो हमारे देश में ही रहेगा. दैट इज द इम्पोर्ट और इंटरनल कंजप्शन. एंड एक्सपोर्ट मतलब जब हम वो चीज देश के बाहर बेचते हैं. ठीक है, तो इसलिए ये जो एक्ट है, ये जो कमेटी है, ये बनाई गई टू एश्योर द क्वालिटी ऑफ टेक्सटाइल. ओके, टेक्सटाइल का क्वालिटी एश्योर करने के लिए ये जो कमेटी है वो बनाई गई थी. सो द करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज द मेजर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ टेक्सटाइल कमेटी इज टू डिटरमाइनिंग द क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ क्लोथ. जो भी कपड़ा बन रहा है उसका जो क्वालिटी है वो हमेशा ही अच्छी रहे, ये उसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी देखने की. ओके, नाउ द नेक्स्ट वन from the next lesson, that is the changing life. Okay, the first question is the first open heart surgery under the leadership of Dr. N. Gopinathan was successfully performed in the city of. Now we have to give the correct answer. In which city we form the successful open heart surgery in Chennai, in Vellore, in Hyderabad, or in Mumbai. Now see, students, as you know that after pre-independence, we saw so many changes. Okay, we saw so many changes. The institution of families, how our families change, how our social welfare change, what are the different uh, organizations. So many organizations come forward to develop our public health, and in this progress, the medical field has made a life of Indians relatively free of health concern. In 1962, the first successful open heart surgery was performed under the leadership of Dr. N. Gopinath at Christian Medical College Hospital at Vellore in Tamil Nadu. Hence, it is no longer necessary to go abroad for the such treatment means for open heart surgery. Okay, प्री इंडिपेंडेंस मतलब इंडिपेंडेंस के पहले इफ अ मेजर प्रॉब्लम इज देयर और मेजर सर्जरी इज देयर वी इंडियंस हैव टू गो टू अब्रॉड. हमको बाहर जाना पड़ता था, मतलब देश के बाहर जाना पड़ता था बड़ी सर्जरीज के लिए. बट दिस मैन Dr. N. Gopinath performed an open heart surgery in India. वो ऐसे पहले डॉक्टर थे जिन्होंने हमारे भारत में ही सबसे पहले ओपन हार्ट सर्जरी की, और वो उन्हें की थी वेल्यूर इन तमिलनाडु. So Nagar Gopinath was an Indian surgeon and one of the pioneers of cardiothoracic surgery in India. He is credited with the first successful performance of open heart surgery in India, which he performed in 1962 at Vellore, Tamil Nadu. So, the correct option or the correct answer of our question is the first open surgery under the leadership of Dr. N. Gopinathan was successfully performed in the city of Vellore. Okay. So the next question is, who is known as the father of Jaipur food? Okay. Now again, an interesting question. Who is known as the father of Jaipur food? Options are Dr. N. Gopinathan, second one Dr. Pramod Sethi, next one is Dr. Mohan Rao, and fourth one none of these. Okay. Now see students, as we get developed in the medical field, so as we first discussed about the open heart surgery, there is a progress in medical field, same as the invention of the Jaipur food has transformed the lives of disabled in India. Before 1968, if a person lost a leg in an accident, he had to suffer for the rest of his life. In order to remedy the situation, Dr. Pramod Sethi designed and manufactured artificial limbs, noses, and ears with the help of skilled craftsman Ramachandra Sharma. Now, as I told you, you get the answer that this is become a progress in the medical field, that before 1968, if a person lost his or her leg in an accident, or any natural any problem, okay, he had to suffer for the rest of his whole year. जिसका भी पैर कट जाता था एक्सीडेंट में या किसी प्रॉब्लम के कारण, बीमारी के कारण, तो उनको हमेशा वैसे ही रहना पड़ता था, एक पैर पे ही रहना पड़ता था, उसको दूसरा पैर नहीं मिलता था. नो, ही हैड टू सफर ऑफ उसको जिंदगी भर. और इस दुख से निकालने के लिए डॉक्टर प्रमोद सेठी डिजाइन अ मैन्युफैक्चर आर्टिफिशियल लिम्ब. तो उन्होंने एक आर्टिफिशियल लिम्ब, नोज, ईयर्स, ऐसे बहुत सारे डिफरेंट ऑर्गन्स बनाए उन्होंने, विच हेल्प अवर ह्यूमन बीइंग, जो हमको मानवता को एक बहुत बड़ी हेल्प है कि अगर किसी का कोई ऑर्गन कट जाता है या बॉडी पार्ट कट जाता है तो आर्टिफिशियल बॉडी पार्ट्स डॉक्टर प्रमोद सेठी ने बनाए, जिससे कि जिस पर्सन के पास में वो अनेबल है, वो चल नहीं सकता है या हाथ नहीं है उसके पास में, तो पहले तो उन्होंने सिर्फ जयपुर फूड बनाए, अभी तो सारे बॉडी पार्ट्स बनाते हैं। तो उन्होंने एक ऐसा गॉड गिफ्टेड चीज हमको दिया, वो हमारे लिए गॉड गिफ्टेड ही है कि उन्होंने ऐसी चीज बनाई कि जिससे कि हमें किसी चीज की कमी नहीं महसूस होती। ठीक है। सो when Pramod Karan Sethi joins SWMSMS Hospital in Jaipur in 1950s and set up Rajasthan's first orthopedic department, then its rehabilitation center. It was the beginning of the journey of making the artificial food, now famous as Jaipur food. Now the correct option is Dr. Pramod Sethi is known as the father of Jaipur food. So the next question is the wave of dash has given impetus to the system of nuclear families. Now the wave of what has given impetus to the system of nuclear families? Options are modernization, westernization, globalization, or industrialization. Okay. Now say student, as we are studying or we had completed this lesson, changing of life, you have must got it that during the pre-independence period, the institution of the family was an important identifying feature of Indian society because we Indians live in a group और in a joint family. ठीक है। हम जो इंडियंस हैं, हमारे जो पहले लोग जो हमारे पूर्वज थे, ठीक है, जो हमारे रिलेटिव्स थे, वो हमेशा ग्रुप में ही रहा करते थे, मतलब वो जॉइंट फैमिली। और टुडे ऑल्सो वी लव टू लिव इन अ जॉइंट फैमिली। आज भी हमें अच्छा लगता है कि हम कोई फंक्शंस होते हैं तो हम लोग जाते हैं उसे अटेंड करने के लिए। वाई? क्योंकि हमारे फ्रेंड्स, हमारे रिलेटिव सब वहां पे आते हैं। We love to live together. But in India, when the wave of globalization came and now is impetus to the system of nuclear families. तो जब हमारे देश में ग्लोबलाइजेशन आया, तब से हमारी ये जो फैमिलीज हैं वो अलग अलग हो गई एंड न्यू द डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम्स विच वी फेस्ड टू लिव। हमको मालूम है कि अगर हमें जीना है तो हमें बहुत सारी चीजों का सेक्रीफाइस करना ही पड़ता है। वी डोंट हैव जॉब्स एट आवर विलेज, वी डोंट हैव फैसिलिटीज इन आवर विलेज, सो to get good jobs, to get good facilities to our family, we come to cities. And now 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so many people when come together, it make a globalized city. तो वो ग्लोबलाइज हो जाती है। एवरीथिंग विच इज हेल्पफुल फॉर देम कम टू नियर देयर होम। जो कुछ चीजें उनको लगती हैं, जब ये लोग गांव छोड़ के, अपने गांव को छोड़ के, अपने घरों को छोड़ के शहरों की तरफ आते हैं, तो उनको जो भी चीज फैसिलिटीज लगती है वो सारी फैसिलिटी उनको शहरों में मिलने लगती है और इसलिए वो लोग वहीं पे रह जाते हैं एंड इट बिकम्स न्यूक्लियर फैमिलीज। सो during the pre-independence period, the institution of family was an important identifying feature of Indian society. So India was known all over the world as country of joint families. But the wave of globalization has now given an impetus to system of nuclear families. तो इसके कारण, ग्लोबलाइजेशन के कारण हमारी जो ये ज्वाइंट फैमिली है वो न्यूक्लियर फैमिली में अभी चेंज हो चुकी है। सो द करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज द वेव ऑफ ग्लोबलाइजेशन हैज गिवन impetus to the system of nuclear families. So next one is India won the Cricket World Cup under the captainship of. Very simple question, and I think you or everyone you know the answer, that India won the Cricket World Cup under the championship of. You have to write the correct option. The correct different options are there. Sunil Gavaskar is there, Kapil Dev is there, Syed Karmani or Sandeep Patil. Now, this is the question from Changing Life 2. As studied, we had studied in Life 1 how the globalization changes our rural development or how they change our industrial development. All types of development we had studied, but with these changes, we also change ourselves in our language and sports also. Because during pre-independence day, very few selected games were known to the people in general. But as some sportsmen come forward and they do some different from everyone, so the sports and the sports person become famous in the world. Also, legendary all-rounder Kapil Dev captained India to a historic World Cup dream. 37 years old age, India won the covered Cricket World Cup for the first time, defeating the West Indies by 43 runs in the final at the iconic Lord's Ground on June 25, 1983. So the correct answer of our question is India won the Cricket World Cup under the captainship of Kapil Dev. So the next question is the dash language is gaining importance in India due to the progress of globalization. Now the options are Punjabi, French, English or Hindi. Now as we know that after the changing in rural areas or in industrial area, this is very important to have the change in our language also. So the English language has been gained ground in India due to the progress of globalization which began after 1990. So English is becoming the language of livelihood as it opens the doors of multiple job opportunity. So the English language becoming the language of livelihood and it opens the door of multiple job opportunities. So English language has been gained ground in India. So the correct option of our question is the English language gained importance in India due to the process of globalization. Okay. So student, we had completed our this first question practice. Now I am giving you some questions and you try to solve it. The first question is Maharashtra and which other state have reserved 50 seats for women? Other 8, 12, 15 or 18? Which other states are reserved 50% seats for women? Now the second question is who was the first women's university? Which was the first woman university in India? In Mumbai, Pune, SNDT or Shivaji? Okay. So thank you student. I hope you understand how to solve our first question. Okay.